welcome to the stream. This is part 3 of our playthrough of Beneath the Steel Sky on under ScummVM. Now, we are also raising money for War Child, which is a charity organization with the goal in mind to make sure no child's life is torn apart by war in various war-torn parts of the world. And we already reached £50, which was the threshold at which I would wear the wizard hat for the rest of these 3 streams. So I'll be wearing the hat for all of tonight's stream. And there are some other rewards available for £10. I will take a shot of this cod liver oil. For £20, I will eat a piece of this fermented shark. And if we do reach our goal of £200, which I've raised from last stream, since we did a fantastic job last stream of raising £75, I will shave off my beard here live on camera. I will have to make a short intermission if we reach that tonight, because I will need to go get the cutters and so on, but I will do it live on camera. Also, there is a channel point redemption reward challenge that you can use, which only requires 5,000 pieces of 8, which you collect just by being here. And if we reach that on each given night, I will donate £5 of my own money to the cause, putting my money where my mouth is, so to speak. And let's move into the game. I might play the introduction video for War Child once more people are here. But for now, let's just move ahead with the game. I'll turn down Pretzel and turn up the game volume. It is a little bit troublesome that the actual game is fairly low in volume, but in scenes where there is some sound effects, it can kick in very loud, and I noticed that on the VOD. So if you feel the game is uncomfortably loud, please let me know and I'll tune it down a bit, but I have it about 2/3 of the way up now, and that makes the music nicely loud. I wouldn't want it much lower volume than it is right now. Now, getting back to where we were in this game, we had managed to get all the way down to the ground floor, and after some attempts at doing so, we managed to find a piece of rope and an anchor, and we were able to cast a piece of rope with the anchor into the security sign on the other side and scale down the walls. So now we made it all the way down, and we ended last stream seemingly without an idea of how to proceed. But let's move on here. We're in this bar right now, and there's a door here on the other side.
There's no sign of a lock or a card slot.
And there's apparently no way to use it. It appears to be locked. There's a band playing here as well.
They look really happy. Or stoned.
Or both.
Hey guys, play some rock and roll!
They don't really want to talk to us. And there's a jukebox over here.
The select button isn't lit. Pressing the buttons doesn't achieve anything.
Which we don't seem to be able to interact with in any way. The bartender doesn't want to give us a drink, which is odd, given that that's basically his only job. Or at least the bar is shiny, so
excuse me.
Clean.
Where does the locked door lead to?
To the wine cellar. Carlson's the only one who can open it. It's programmed to read his fingerprints.
Never mind. Excuse me. Where does the locked door lead to?
Oh, that's the wine cellar.
Okay. So there are two guys here at the poker table,
Never mind.
and we bit mother of it.
I need to inspect your wine cellar.
Forget it, mister. Nobody gets in there but me.
Are we playing cards or what?
All right. This
Much
guy distracted me.
exhausted our dialogue with these guys.
There are greasy fingerprints on the glass.
Well, that is interesting.
Excuse me.
See you later.
Oh, don't count on it.
Hello, that's the Kino, and welcome in, Gleaser. Yeah, we're doing 3 of these fundraising streams for War Child UK. Let me roll the introduction video, since there are some people here. Also do it midstream, but let's roll it right now.
Currently, we are raising money for War Child, an amazing charity that focuses on helping children who have been affected by a war. They were founded in 1993 by David Wilson and Bill Leeson, and their mission is to help children who have been suffering from war, to get them education, shelter, and the help they need to get a new life. Wherever children are caught up in wars, they've lost their homes, families, schools, or been forced to take part in the atrocities. War Child has made it its mission to do what it can to help them. War Child's UK projects have expanded to reach conflict zones across the world. War Child currently has active programs in Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is why we are raising money and hoping to get as much money as possible to give all these children a second chance in life, because it's well deserved. Join us as we try to make the world a better place for them. Thank you so much for your contribution.
There are some rewards up for grabs here. If I get a donation of £10 or more, I will take a shot of this cod liver oil for you. £20 or more will get you me eating this piece of fermented shark, which is as disgusting as it sounds. And if we do reach our lofty goal of £200, I will shave my beard off live on stream. So there's that. Let's get going with the game again. I've already eaten a few pieces of this fermented shark. I've eaten 2 pieces so far. It's an acquired taste, which I will probably never acquire. But the things we do for charity seems like a small sacrifice compared to what some of these kids are going through. Now, keep things a little bit lighter. There are some fingerprints on this glass, which we could probably take off somehow to get through this door, but we don't have anything on us that we could potentially use to do that. So we need to find something. A napkin, perhaps?
Excuse me. Never mind.
You exhausted our dialogue with the doorman. Yeah, I was a
Court
little bit
closed.
surprised to see that they don't
See
even
link
have
for
a
news of
PayPal option,
forthcoming attractions.
and they don't have a debit card option either.
The notice is glued to the door. The notice is glued to the door.
That surprised me a little bit. Okay, there is a notice on this door, but it's glued stuck, so can't take it. Yeah, we could arrange that. We could arrange that, definitely. If you donate bits, I will convert them to pounds and donate them to the cause. It's a sure thing. Roughly, the bit is basically a cent, so 100 bits is $1. And, you need to convert that into pounds. The charity is a UK organization, so the collection is in UK pounds.
It's too heavy to carry.
Which has confused some of the Americans on the team. They put them some conversion tables and so on, but I'm used to dealing with both pounds and dollars and euros all the time, since we have our own currency here, which is we can't really use anywhere else than in Iceland, so I'm pretty aware of the various currency ratios. We already solved this puzzle. The dog walked in here and we basically shot him into the pond using these bricks and this plank. So that's solved. And this is another weird location. It's basically a cathedral. There are a bunch of these dummies over here.
They must have switches to activate them somewhere. Damned if I'm gonna look for them, though.
It's a bit weird. Not dystopian. And then there's this morgue here, which is filled with all of these different bodies. One of which is the operator or the reactor on the 22nd floor, or what it was.
I'm Hubert, and I've got all the right moves. I've got the legs, too. First an arcade game, now my own home video game. I'm ready for anything. Staying away from creeps like Ugg and Coily takes a quick mind and lots of fancy moves. The longer I hop around, the more they're out to get me. Ugh!
I will convert
When they
them.
said fame would go to my head, they weren't kidding.
Happy to help a bit.
And I'll head here right now. It's all a bit weird doing this over the interface. I've done it before. There's also a channel point redemption. You can use your channel points to raise up to 5,000 bits of pieces of 8, which means I'll donate another £5 if we reach that on stream. So if you have some channel points, you can use them for that as well. Yeah, Cubert is the, I don't think we've ever seen it before. It's the 1000 bit alert. I allowed Gleason to do it because he doesn't have an international credit card, but it's much better if you can just use the donation link here and donate directly, because otherwise I will have to donate manually on the page and do all the conversion of the currency myself. Subs, the problem with the subs is that I only get I get about 50% of the sub. The rest goes to Twitch. So doing it that way basically means that I can only donate about half. The bits are pretty much a one-to-one. see. It sort of makes sense because which is of course providing the platform. Just completing this donation here. And, I will check this this cod liver oil for you, Glacier, as a reward for your donation. Thanks a lot for your generosity. Bottoms up from the shot glass. Tasty it is not, but not terribly unhealthy either. So we have that going for us. That'll be a picture of health before we move on. Yeah, we have 4,000 points of the 5,000 we need for additional £5. So where's the game audio?
This place is spooky.
There's simply no song in here. Yeah, okay. There's no sound. There's no sound effects and no music in that room, so it's eerily quiet. Okay. There isn't really, outside of all of these bodies here in the closets, which are disturbing. There isn't really much in here. There's this
There
cabinet.
could be something useful in there. Wouldn't you know it? It's locked.
But the cabinet, of course, is locked, and we have nothing to open it with. Yeah, they were doing this campaign, and they approached our leader, Ashatai, and asked if we would take part in this, and we pretty much all agreed that this was a great idea.
It's a kind of bed with
I've been
wheels.
very surprised how much money has been raised.
The wheels are locked in place.
My teammates have done a fantastic job as well. We raised quite a bit of money. It's a great pass.
Yo, that's horrible.
He didn't want to pick up the head.
I don't
tried.
think a severed head would be any use.
I remember there was a
Her
bit in
skin
Monkey
is
Island
burnt and
how to get the
blistered.
head. This is definitely one way to get the head.
She appears to have been exposed to radiation.
Yeah, this is the unfortunate operator of the nuclear reactor. She wasn't allowed to wear a radiation suit, so of course she's dead. These people running this place here in the game are not nice people. This appears to be a dead end. I went over it pretty thoroughly and didn't find anything other than the exit here. So I guess that's not it. Thanks a lot for the donation, Ponter. I'll swig another shot of the cod liver oil for your donation. Bottoms up. I'm gonna turn into a fish any moment now. And I will have a sip of tea after this. It's mint and licorice tea. Goes very well with a cod liver oil. Yeah, it came out not that long ago. It was just, I think it was last year. I remember reading about it. Now,
Tell me about your dandelion game.
Ah, it's brilliant. You get chased by these giant yellow weeds.
You mean dandelions are yellow? The gardener told me they were blue.
He's mad. He's not a real gardener.
How'd you know the gardener is a fake?
He's got green fingers.
That's the sign of a naturally talented gardener.
I saw him dipping them in the paint. Anyway, the plants are made of plastic.
You're a real help, Vincent.
No problem, Rob.
so he literally has green fingers. He dipped them in paint.
Don't wear out your thumbs. Excuse me. You told me dandelions were blue.
Did I? Well, what of it?
This boy assures me they're yellow.
Ugh, smart-assed little brat. All right, you got me sussed. I haven't had any formal training, but I've always dreamed of being a gardener. I love 'em, every little shrub and succulent. Those dainty blossoms waving their little stamens in the breeze.
All right, I get the point.
You won't report me, will you?
Why should I do that?
There's something very fishy going on with this gardener.
Excuse me.
Maybe we should give him the cod liver oil.
Do you know a girl called Anita?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Why do you want to know?
She's been murdered. I found her body in the cathedral.
Can't see why you're telling me.
Excuse me. See you later.
Can't talk to him anymore. Can we talk to Vincent about Anita? Probably not, he's just a boy.
Don't wear
No.
out your thumbs.
Won't be discussing dead people with the teenagers.
There's no reply.
Yeah, I remember starting this game, but I never played it all that much, and I certainly never finished it on the Amiga. I think it was about time that we played it. This time under ScumVM. We are playing the slightly remastered version, which at least has the remastered sound.
Won't open.
Yeah.
That's probably because it's locked.
Yeah, original sample sound in the game was fairly bad. It was had been sampled at a too high volume, it seemed. It was clippy and low quality. Apparently someone went through the bother of taking the original samples from the DAT tape and sampling them all back in. And they also fixed the game.
I
so
ought to
you could
move
have
that
the,
trash.
You could have the music and the sound effects, but previously you could only really have the Roland MT32 and then no sound effects, or you could have the sound effects but then only the ad-lib music. So this is sort of a mix of the two. There's really not that much we can do down here. Can we go back up in this elevator? Yes, we can. Okay. Okay, which takes us back up here. Okay.
It's empty.
Okay, that means we can go up and down here as we want and revisit all of the places we've been before. We don't really have any new items, and that basically means that the only point of visiting these places is to see if something has changed. This is an apartment here again. Or rather the apartment of the guy whose card we currently have. Don't actually, we shouldn't have a card at all. Thanks for the 10 pounds, just. Now, the alerts always say dollars, and I can't change it, but it's actually pounds. Bottoms up on the cod liver oil. If I get more donations, I'm going to be eating the fermented shark, because we're doing really well, and I doubt I can eat much more of it without. It has a lot of A and D vitamin in it. There are limits as to how much of it I can actually drink on stream. And bottoms up on the licorice tea as well. It tastes kind of weird, but it does take the cod liver oil taste out of my mouth. Fittingly,
It shows different kinds of fish.
Fish here.
Reich must have been fond of them.
Yeah, there is this aquarium, and there is this feeder here as well.
It must be empty. The poor fish will be hungry.
We can't actually use this machine. There's nothing in it. And the only thing really is this picture of nature and this certificate, which tells us that he went on a course. Or rather,
Union City Fish Fanciers Club. 3rd prize, Tropical Mutant category.
this is basically a tropical mutant. That's all we know. We don't have anything to put the fish in, and we don't have anything to fish him out either, so we can't really do anything here. Nothing has really changed in that regard, and there is the supervisor's apartment here. Yeah, there will be a stream tomorrow, the 3rd charity stream. I did one on Wednesday, I'm doing one today, and I'm doing the 3rd one tomorrow. The event closes, last day is on Tuesday.
It's a food dispenser.
Since I don't stream on Sundays, Mondays or Tuesdays, I will probably not stream at all during these days. I don't regularly do so. I don't know what the point of this really is. We can feed this cat, but it doesn't really help us do anything else. The cat isn't sitting on anything.
I didn't picture Lamb as a reader of books.
These aren't actually books.
They're fake, just empty cardboard boxes.
Okay, Gleezer, looking forward to seeing you here. Haven't really decided where we're going to go in Might and Magic tomorrow either. There isn't a ton of stuff left. We might head over to the Ancient Isles for the 2 pathos. That seems like pretty much the only thing we could realistically do. We might also try to beat the Milker, which we need to do if we are to gain access to any of the pyramids. Now I think we have mostly complete this area here. There is this weird travel agent. We already got one of his tickets.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, she does know, and she did threaten to donate the rest of the amount. I'm hoping she doesn't. I guess that's a universal thing that wives generally are not fans of the people.
Did you find your contact?
I got through to his office, but he's out, on a case.
Could you try your contact again?
I suppose so. Wait here.
So, okay. Yeah, and luckily for me, she doesn't even read my Twitter feed, which is public. So, she's on Facebook, I'm not. I'm on Twitter, she's not. So, we already, this is where we got the anchor before. We stole it from this statue. Joey managed to basically wipe it off. That's the reason we can send him to the other room, but I don't actually think there is any further point to this room. But what you basically need to do now, which I've done a few times, is just revisit all the rooms and all the dialogue and see if something has changed. Obviously something has, because other ones were very stuck. The guy in the suit is no longer here. He was standing right here, so I guess he's of no further use to us. Not that he was much used before.
An illustrated brochure.
Good grief, it's positively pornographic.
Naked people with extra parts. The things folk do for fashion.
Indeed. Now this is the doctor's office where we got a port installed. The poor guy is still here in surgery. I suppose we could try
Excuse me.
to the doctor again.
Thanks again for the port, Doc.
It's a pleasure to do business with you.
Yeah, that's basically it. We'll have to wait for him to get out of the way to talk to the patient, who's being upgraded with something.
I have to go now.
Drop by again sometime.
No further options. And
Surely that's supposed to be for his patients.
yeah, he kept dipping into the nitrous. We have exhausted every item in here because we haven't actually gained any additional items, and basically tried every item that we have with every other item in this room. We don't have to try that again. I guess we could go up to the factory again. This door, the elevator goes down, which goes down to the ground floor where we were previously, but this one goes up again to the floor where we started the game. And, I think we've completed pretty much everything there except for the factory itself.
Hey,
There's
Lamb.
He's a bit of a douche, but we've been pretty mean to him. We zeroed out his credit and removed all of his access permits. Broke into his apartment, but at least we fed his cat, which I suppose has more to do with his cat than him.
What do you know about Anita's death?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The girl you sent to the reactor. She's been killed, Lamb.
Look, I don't know aught about murder. You might think I was hard on the lass, but I had nothing to do with her death.
That's definitely not true.
Hey, Lamb. When did you last see Anita?
When I sent her to the testing room.
Why wasn't she given a rad suit?
I don't know, it's not my fault.
You deserve to lose your status. Now it's your turn to be a D-Link. Hey,
Of course,
Lamb.
it's his fault that she didn't have a suit.
See you later.
I suppose we can't discuss this with him any further. Let's head into the factory, talk to some of our co-workers. Maybe someone hears them.
I almost feel guilty for stealing its body.
This is the bottom part of the shell we prepared for Joey, which sadly crashed all the way down.
The
and,
program seems to have crashed.
it's probably beyond repair. All we have is his circuit board at this point, so we can't really reactivate him. He was a pretty big help early on. Yeah, I like the element of having the robot as well. It brings an additional element to the game.
They're chewed up and mangled.
Additional things you can try out.
They're frazzed beyond repair.
We broke this machine earlier. And here is just a storage room. Nothing has changed here. There are no additional items.
I'll have to search you again.
You're wasting your time.
Well, you don't appear to have stolen anything. Thank you for your cooperation.
This guy
Excuse
is
me.
very concerned about his clipboard, not about a lot of other things.
Never mind.
I suppose the console is still out
It's
of
locked
order.
up completely.
Yeah. There's okay,
Plastic
there's
overalls. Not very fashionable.
there's a suit here in the locker. Okay. Which we can wear. It's a protection suit. That's interesting. That means we can probably open the reactor. Let's save the game here. Because this is the one area in the game that I've managed to die so far. Yeah, thanks a lot again for the donation, Retroponder, and thanks for coming here. Sleep well, have a good night. We'll see you some other
I
time.
suppose it's a protective screen. It's a weird, antiquated machine.
Let's go into the reactor room, see what we can do now that we have the suit. Yeah, see you again soon. Our reactor is obviously on. We can't shut it down. Don't have access to do so, but we can open it. And, now that we have the suit, we can basically walk into the reactor, which sounds pretty crazy. There's a link card here on the floor. It's for that.
The power in those things gives me the willies.
I'll say. Can we
If it
remove
wasn't
them?
for the heat shield, I'd be frazzled.
Indeed. Okay, maybe we can use the link card that we found to shut it down at some point. Close the door. We have another card at least. Okay, it's Anita's card. That's interesting. We can't use it with this control panel at least, but maybe we can use it with some machine out there. There's another console where she used to work over here. Maybe we can use her card to operate the console.
The display is full of numbers.
Yeah, that is if we have any idea how to do so. No, we probably don't.
It might be old, but my coat is cool.
I suspect we're supposed to take off the suit and wear our coat again. I might be wrong. We'll probably stay in here though. And we have a new item.
Excuse me.
We'll try interacting.
I've got a present for you.
Bribery, is it? Well, that won't work on me.
Doesn't want any bribe.
Never mind.
If the security guard wants the link card.
Would you like this lost property?
No, I just want you to leave the area. Take it to Security HQ.
Okay. Can we
It's a computer terminal with the word link on it.
Can we use some card on the link terminal? Yes, we can. Anita Einbeck, dealing hostel 38F. $0 to her name, 0 status and link. So just the usual ads. Bert Loon is at it again. We read this news story before. Property theft, SOAR. Hobart embargo, forces rationing. Judge come down on youth and delicatessen sold recycled product. This was the latest one, and there hasn't been anything added. So her card in the machine, at least, is not very useful. I wonder if we can get anywhere else on the elevator using her card. No, she at least has no access to this one. But it sort of leaves the security office here, or the police office. Let's have a chat with Sam in Norville.
Never mind.
If anything has been added to the dialogue here.
Oh, nothing.
One thing we could try is using her card in this elevator. That doesn't work. Can we now use our own card to actually open? Yeah, we can. Which brings us all the way back here. Again. Okay, that's actually relatively interesting. This is a way to go back and forth here.
It's the only way out. It's the only way out.
It is. This is where we ended up after we took the anchor and the cable and flung us out from the sign on the building. So this is the way to get back and forth between that area and the starting area of the game. So basically we can now pretty much visit any area that we've been to in the game again. So the game becomes more of an open world the more of it you complete, it seems. I still don't know what this power switch does. This part of the game is very loud. I'll turn it down a little bit.
Don't mind me. I can see you're busy.
Sound effects. Some of the sound effects in the game are very loud, while others are mostly quiet, and the music is mostly quiet. Still don't really know what to do with this switch here. We don't even know what it actually controls. But potentially it controls something. This is where the game started. Hey there, Will. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, guys, from Will's channel. How did the rest of Resident Evil go? Did you finish it? We're playing Beneath the Steel Sky, part 3 of our playthrough. Hey guys, welcome in. We're raising money for charity tonight. The second stream of 3 where we're raising money for War Child. And there are some rewards on offer. I've been checking this cod liver oil for any donation of £10 or more, and I also have this fermented shark, which I'll eat if you donate 20 or more. Yeah, the hat was only for getting to £50. We're way past that mark, so I will wear it until the charity streams end tomorrow night. And the wizard hat is usually a channel point redemption, but I've disabled that part and it's now part of this charity. Now, we've already done this bit. We were able to throw the cable with the anchor to the sign, and we can access that bit from the police station, so we don't really need to do it again here. There is something that remains, however. Or I say
Hope that thing's got sensors.
I say that
a guy could get hurt if it hit him.
Some suspicion, because in reality all we have new is this ID card, and I suppose we have to pretty much try it with everything we found in the game so far. Now we know for a fact we can get down here, but we can also get in here. Is there nothing left in the cupboard? Okay, the guy has also left. Oh, we can't can't really interact with him. Turning this level turns on the machine, but we don't really have anything to use with it. I seriously doubt we can use the card with it, but I'll try it just to be complete. No. At some point we will have to use this machine with something. Have to keep that in mind if we run into something where we could see that as a potential option. Climb down here, please. No, been here before a few times. Yeah, thanks for the 8k RAM. It's usually a channel point redemption, but this time around it was a price for getting to £50. So the hat stays. I'm a wizard today and tomorrow. How wonderful, we have one of these follow bots. Now, do we want to become famous? Not really. Maybe I should try giving this card to the guys here.
Look what I found.
We don't deal with lost property.
Okay.
Do you deal with lost property? Get out of here and stop wasting my time.
Okay. So we're not supposed to give it to them at least. Okay, let's head back down to the floor below. Using our own card, we can at least we have access to the
Either
elevator.
it's the wrong card or the elevator's not working, which means I'm trapped.
Uh-oh. We're trapped up here on this floor. That is interesting. That means there's something that we need to do on this floor that we haven't figured out yet. I'm enjoying this game, and the further we progress, the more I'm enjoying it. And, it's different than I thought it would be. It's for one thing, it's a bit weird. There have been multiple cases in the game where dialogue has been pretty raunchy. It's different than I figured it would be. It's not quite as innocent as would appear. It's still okay to stream. It's not. It doesn't really. No, they're surprisingly logical. At least most of them have been. I usually have a much better time with logical puzzles than I do with the illogical ones. But I'm still, in cases like this, I'm basically trying just almost anything. But, many of the puzzles have been completely logical, where it's made perfect sense.
I'll have to search you again.
You're wasting your time.
Well, you don't appear to have
Like
stolen
the
anything.
sign on the outside
Thank
of the
you for your
building, when we
cooperation.
had the rope and the anchor, we were able to tie the anchor to the rope and just throw the anchor with the rope to the sign and ease ourselves down. That's a logical puzzle. Yeah, there has been some moon logic in this game. For example, we almost got stuck there with the maintenance man, where we were supposed to press both of the buttons to get him to go out of the room. That wasn't really all that logical, but I noticed in the end that the bot always pushed the same button. So there had to be a reason why the bot was always pushing that particular button while we could press both. So eventually I tried pressing both of them and we moved on, but that's a point where we could have been stuck for a long time because that really doesn't make any sense. Now we can definitely change into the overalls here. Sort of wondering if that helped us in any way. There's nothing more to do inside the reactor room at least.
Don't wear that suit out here. It's probably contaminated.
Okay, that answers that question. So we were right, we have to take off the suit. That limits the amount of things we can do as well, so we don't have to worry about that. We already tried using her card with a console that does nothing.
Doesn't mean a thing to me.
We don't understand how to operate it, so we can't really use it in any way.
It's firmly anchored to the ground.
We can't pick up the screen either. I think I already tried this. I'll try it again. There was nothing else inside the reactor except this card and the rods themselves, which we obviously can't touch. And we can't shut it down because we don't have the proper authorization to do so. There's a retina scan involved. Can't interact with this.
Hey.
I think we already exhausted our dialogue with the lamp. Yeah,
See you
we
later.
did. We have not tried Anita's card with the link terminal that is actually in the police station. Or the security office, at least not yet. I doubt it's different. So far, all of the link terminals have been basically exactly the same. It looks like that way here as well. It occurs to me that we might have to go to the computer again. See if we can there are additional things we can do there now that we have this card. Use this computer interface. This part about the game I find intriguing. It's basically a computer AI sort of world. Now we used her card, so this is potentially a different sort of virtual world than the one we were in before. And we obviously have some new items here as well. Yeah, that was mentioned last stream as well. Yes, this is very reminiscent of Shadowrun. Okay, she has some additional options that we did not have. She can blind the eye. That's interesting. And that means we can exit. We can exit here, which we were not able to do previously. Yeah. So this is a new room we haven't been in before. That's a Crusader. Crusader 38k, behind Picket and Trout, Union Lab. Crusader will guard the system religiously against all known ADOS configurations. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, this is basically similar to the Matrix, or it's a electric dreams or whatever you would like to call it. We're basically inside the computer using the interface that we got implanted into our head. So, it's a very different element. It's not a typical element you would find in a puzzle game or point-and-click game like this. And what can we do with this Crusader guy? Okay, that just totally disconnects us. That's not what we were going to do. Let's reuse this interface. But, I like this element. It definitely brings another dimension to the game. So we can't go there, but we can go here. There's a well in the middle here. We have to wander a bit very well. It's data storage, 60k. Personal data space for the use of Link engineers. Use playback to access holographic files. That we can do.
If that's you, Rob, listen carefully. You're the only one who can help. I was supposed to make contact with an agent from Hobart. Trouble is, the rendezvous was in a park on ground level. And now I'm a dealing, I can't get there. The agent's name is Eduardo. I don't know how you'll get to Link. But beneath the city there are tunnels. The remains of the old subway. That could be a way in.
That was very interesting. We have to get out of that garden downstairs. Okay, that's interesting as well. I'm gonna go back in for a bit. What does this tuning fork do? This is obviously a two-way operation. We're supposed to use the blind on the eyeball here. Then go back here. Now, all of the puzzles in this area of the game have been very logical. Things like this, turning off this eyeball and then exiting before it opens up again. Choosing the exits based on the different options available to us. We had a password at one point where we could enable and disable passages in a sort of logic gate way. Okay, we obviously have to hurry. There's a time limit there. Let's try this one more time. The point is to go here, relatively quickly go in here. Use the blind on the eyeball. Go out of this exit. Get close to this one. Use the blind again, this time on this eyeball. Use this exit. Use this exit, and then very quickly go here and use the tuning fork on the other side. Oscillator. Interesting. How do we use the oscillator? Now the items that we pick up in here are only usable in this world. We can't use them on the outside, so they can only be used to interact with other items in this space. See if we can combine this oscillator with any of these other options. Oscillator V2.1 that's 55k, but as a peer mount, range of modulation increased due to class 4 variants in link defense. We at least can't use it with this guy here. We can't seem to combine it with anything else that we have. Doesn't work with this well. It's a good chance we need to use this at some later stage. We've already gone through this logical puzzle. We don't have a password for this character. We completed this as ourselves, not as the radiology expert. Now how do we get out of here now? Probably like this. Yeah. Okay. We're out again. We have more information. How does it help us? Wasn't there an additional card reader? Yes, there is a slot somewhere. Yes, there. Try using third card on the slot. Doesn't work either.
Nothing's happened.
Our card doesn't work. Okay.
It's locked.
All of these lockers are locked. We already checked them many times. Okay, we tried that at least. There's nothing really more to do over here, but we can go back to the other side by going through this elevator, which means we end up back again in the city of it. Here we are, okay. Now, let's see if we can make our way downstairs again. Don't see how, but let's try it anyway.
Either it's the wrong card, or the elevator's not working. Which means I'm trapped.
Maybe we could pick her card. Probably not. No, she's still a 0. We don't have any access. Reich. We're still at unlimited. So that's not a problem with the card. But we have no additional documents or anything else to read. Okay. I suppose the same is true of our card. There are no additional options here. No. Okay. Perhaps there is something else on the other side that we need to do before we can move on here.
Hey, Lamb. See you later.
Okay, no new options there. Go back to the factory for a bit.
Excuse me. Never mind.
No, there's no dialogue with the clipboard guy.
Never mind.
We didn't want her security card either. We already tried that. They won't let us leave in the overall, so we can't use them anywhere else. One thing we could potentially try here is we can put on the probably best to save before we try this. We can put on the overalls and go inside the reactor room.
Not very fashionable.
Open it up and leave it open. I wonder what sort of damage that does. Probably a lot. Let's see if we make it out alive if we try to do that. We can't shut it down. We don't have access to do so, but we can open it. And we already took a gander inside. That's where we found the security access card that we currently have and used with the computer. This time around, let's not bother closing it and just going out here again and taking the overall off. See if the game allows us to just continue with the reactor door open. Seems kind of crazy. Yeah, the game doesn't mind at all. We can just leave the nuclear reactor door open and walk straight out. You can't use the elevator, however. So all we're doing is
the wrong card, which means I'm
spreading radiation poisoning here on the top floor, which is sort of fine by me. So there's probably something else that we need to do in that computer interface. Maybe we need to go into the interface as ourselves and not as her. Potentially we can use this oscillator that we acquired as our user instead of using it as her. Do indeed not have the oscillator over on this side. And we have lots of other options as this user. How is it that we proceed? We can't combine them in any way. So we have the oscillator here. I have to believe there's something that we're supposed to do with the oscillator. This bag is empty at this point. We can't go anywhere here because in this user we don't have the password. These don't seem to be able to use the oscillator with the bits that require the password. This doesn't actually seem to do anything. We can't blind this eyeball and make our way here. That's basically all we can do. Giving us an additional exit.
If that's you, Rob, listen carefully. You're the only one who can help. I was supposed to make contact with an agent from Hobart. Trouble is, the rendezvous is in the park on ground level. And now I'm a dealing, I can't get there. The agent's name is Eduardo. I don't know how you'll get to Link, but beneath the city there are tunnels. The remains of the old subway. That could be a way in.
That's our only hint. You can't interact with the eyeball from here. Counter-intrusion countermeasure. Encryption routine. Override system lock on security. Access folders. We already try that on the well. Did nothing. Does seem as though we're missing some ingredient. Yeah, this isn't a huge area, so there isn't really a lot of things we can try back and forth here. Either we just keep in doing this or we don't. This is basically it. Midstream, I will play the award child with you again. Give it one quick run through. I'll be right back on the other side.
Currently, we are raising money for War Child, an amazing charity that focuses on helping children who have been affected by a war. They were founded in 1993 by David Wilson and Bill Leeson, and their mission is to help children who have been suffering from war, to get them education, shelter, and the help they need to get a new life. Wherever children are caught up in wars, they've lost their homes, families, schools, or been forced to take part in the atrocities. War Child has made it its mission to do what it can to help them. War Child's UK projects have expanded to reach conflict zones across the world. War Child currently has active programs in Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is why we are raising money and hoping to get as much money as possible to give all these children a second chance in life, because it's well deserved. Join us as we try to make the world a better place for them. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, this is a good cause. We already raised £105 for War Child, which is way beyond what I actually expected. So I'm very happy with how things have turned out. Now there is a channel point redemption, which is 80% there. Only needs 5,000 points. Get me to donate £5 of my own money. That's one way to contribute, and anyone donating £10 will see me swig the cod liver oil, and 20 will get you me eating the fermented shark. And if we ever reach the £200 goal, I will shave my beard off live on camera. So, if someone other than my wife likes to see that, they have to bucket up the money. Let's see. Well, I guess she could donate, but I probably shouldn't tell her that. That's another 5 with Will's 1,000 points. Donate right now. Let's find the link here again. Now there was also the option of when donating to pick the next game. We play on Fridays, and didn't realize when I put it in that most people would just pick the first option, so it's probably gonna be League of Legends. Just that was the first option in the poll. But Dungeon Master 2 has also gotten some love, so I guess we'll play those two right after each other. It's the first game of the League of Legends series. It's I think it's 97 or 8. Not one of the later games. That's my own donation.
Belongs to someone called Cole.
Okay, let's read what it says.
Belongs to someone called Goddard.
Okay.
It's locked.
Goddard is the plumber guy. We already know that because the janitor wanted to call him. Yeah, I think I accidentally gave 10 instead of 5. Happy little accidents, as they call it on Bob Ross's channel.
No name on this one. Lovecraft's locker. It's locked.
Okay, we don't know who this
Lovecraft's
Lovecraft is, and his is probably locked
It's
as well. Double check all of them again.
Ultar, written in crayon. It's locked.
Ultar,
Reich.
that's us
It's
actually.
locked.
Why is it that we don't have the key to our own locker?
I heard a little click. Nothing in here but some bottles.
Interesting. So there is a slot on every locker.
Belongs
It's
to
not,
someone called Cole.
it's not just on the end locker. And there are some things
It's a
inside
standard
the
card
locker.
slot.
And what, we can't actually get to these bottles? Or... No, we can't. That means there's a slot on every locker, so potentially we can
Nothing's happened.
try the card with every slot, and we can try both cards with every slot as well.
Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
Okay. The card doesn't seem to work. Okay. So we find an additional card. We can definitely use it in one of these lockers. A little bit of a disappointment that there is
Belongs to
absolutely
someone called Cole.
nothing in this one.
Ratty Chem shampoo and Sani Cool conditioner. I think I can live without them.
Hey there, Smash. Welcome to the stream.
Belongs to someone called Cole.
Raising money tonight again for charity. If you hadn't already heard, War Child UK, for children torn apart by war. Our worthy
Ratty
cause.
Chem shampoo and Sani Cool conditioner. I think I can live without them.
I watched it a little bit today, but I was mostly watching
Belongs to
my
someone called Cole.
fellow team members from Team Sanctuary in their donation and charity streams. Most of the fun is on Sunday evening when the demos are. It was a bit dry for most of the day. Okay, there are 2 bottles here.
Ratty Chem shampoo and Sani Cool conditioner. I think I can live without them.
Which he doesn't want anything to do with. Fine. Yeah, there's lots of things going on. Can't think of any more things to do in that interface at the moment. So let's head back to the outside. I wonder what it is that we need to do here. And these 2 are absolutely no help. It was the name of the guy again here.
Don't mind me. I can see you're busy.
Excellent, Smallish. Yeah. We can turn this off and on And we can turn these switches off and on. He seems to be asleep, so he doesn't mind us playing with the stuff. I've tried every combination of this switch. I don't see that it actually does anything on the outside. It doesn't seem to be a part of any sort of puzzle. It's hard to tell. Yeah, the emulation has gotten pretty good.
Access stairs for the furnace.
Emulation has definitely gotten pretty good. It's at the point now where it's pretty much 100% of the original thing. The mister is a little bit more accurate, but
Hope that thing's got sensors. A guy could get hurt if it hit him.
it's Mister is multi nice because you can use
like
lots
an
of different
asthmatic
cores with it.
dinosaur in the mating season.
There's this weird test here. I doubt we can use any of the items with it, but at this point I'm willing to try multi
If I
ending.
put Joey's board in that press, it'd be like murder.
Fair enough. Yeah. There are helpful people out there that have easy to use files.
Pretty lights. And a keyhole. But no sign of a key.
What happens if we
An
step on
elevator to the floor below.
this elevator now that the maintenance guy in the other room isn't here? And nothing happens now. The
An
alarm
elevator
isn't
to the
set
floor.
off.
Pretty lights. And a keyhole. But no sign of a key.
The system cam is basically just showing my computer. I'm playing this off the streaming PC. It
Flashing
basically
lights
shows
like
whatever
these can be
system I'm
hypnotic.
using to play the game. Whether it's the Mister or a retro PC or a hardware system or whatever
There's
it
no
is.
way of changing the sequence. Flashing lights like these can be hypnotic.
Yeah.
Lots of buttons just asking to be pressed. There must be a secret combination.
Yeah, pretty sure there is.
These displays mean nothing to me.
All we can really do here is press this lever, which turns on this machine. I suppose we can try out with the options that we have in our inventory, just for fun. Nope. Okay. Okay, so we've pretty much extended that. Leave the furnace downstairs. To wait for the bot to come back in to climb down the elevator again. Guess we could try throwing pretty much everything into the furnace. I doubt we're supposed to do that, but since we're here anyway. I love how we when you try something and it doesn't work, he does a full spin circle.
It's much too high to reach.
It's much too high to reach, he says. Nothing we have, at least accesses it.
No
There's also
buttons,
this
just a thin slot.
lock here, which we used to open the door earlier. We basically covered everything we can do here.
It's a standard card slot. Either it's the wrong card, which means I'm...
How do we get down again?
Interlevel access suspended during routine anti-terrorist strike. Security services protect...
Do we simply need to override this again?
Either it's the wrong card, or the elevator's not working. Which means I'm trapped.
Do we simply have to go back to the sign and use that way to actually... It's possible, I suppose. Because since we don't have the anchor anymore, that so that's not the way to go back down, since we came up with the elevator, but let's try it, see if that's what's holding us back from going back downstairs. Can't really see what else we could possibly do here, but I think we've basically exhausted every option.
Security symbol. That must be their headquarters.
Can't use this trick again. Well, that's not what we are supposed to do. Okay. What is it exactly we're supposed to do here?
It's another scam. It's the link, and I don't like the...
It's obvious we were supposed to do this at some point, and blind this one. Wondering if it matters. No, ignore this guy.
If that's you, Rob, listen carefully. You're the only one who can help. I was supposed to make contact with an agent from Hobart. Trouble is, the rendezvous is in a park on ground level. And now I'm a dealing, I can't get there. The agent's name is Eduardo. I don't know how you'll get to Link. But beneath the city there are tunnels. The remains of the old subway. That could be your way in.
How is it that we're supposed to feed here?
It's another scanning device.
No additional options in here in any case. I'll retry the metal bar and all the lockers just in case. We already managed to open ours. It didn't really matter or do anything for us. I'm pretty stumped, guys. If you have any clues, you're welcome to throw them in the chat. Can't think of anything else to do here. Do these wise men have anything more to say?
Oh,
No.
Never mind.
I guess we could go close the reactor door. One thing occurred to me, we played with the settings of the power switches. Maybe that's what's preventing the elevator from moving. So maybe we actually accidentally solved that puzzle at some point, and when we were fiddling with them earlier, maybe we broke it again. Let's go back here and shut both of these switches off and see if the elevator is functional. If we do so, it's entirely possible. Just occurred to me. Maybe the point of this exercise was to disable the security device that was preventing us from using the elevator. We can use it now that theory is correct. If not, then we need to do something more. Yeah, okay. So that's just me being dumb, messing with switches that shouldn't be fiddled with. Let's make our way down to the ground floor again. Now that we've solved absolutely nothing. We're back here. We're back in this eerie cathedral here, filled with these weird old pots.
Wouldn't you know it? It's locked.
It is. And how do you access it? Not using any sort of key card. Okay. We'll do the usual. We'll talk to everyone down here, see if their dialogue has changed. Now that we've moved ahead. Yeah, we have some additional options.
Know where I'd find the old subway?
Nah, I've never heard of it.
I thought all boys were into railways.
Get real? What planet are you on?
Sometimes I wonder. Don't wear out your thumbs.
I could do for a subway right now.
Excuse me. What's your name?
It's Eduardo. Why?
Okay, this is Eduardo.
You're Anita's contact, right?
How come you know so much?
She left a message on her card.
Listen, do you know what's happened to Link?
I'm totally confused.
Link is a living, self-replicating organism. Originally, it served as an advisor to the Council, but it has gradually taken control. How and why? We're really not sure. Hobart scientists have developed a virus. It will check Link's growth, if we can get it into the system.
Will you give me the virus?
I can't. It's been downloaded to LinkSpace. Anita was supposed to retrieve it, since she had a Shrievman port.
So have I. I owe it to Anita to get that virus.
No chance. It's bound to be guarded.
I can try at least. Excuse me. See you later.
No additional help, really, but a clue as to what it is that we need to do. Does sound as if we need to...
There's no reply.
Okay, pretty sure we aren't supposed to go in there again at the old lady's apartment, which helped us get into the club.
I need a key to open that. It's an old-fashioned...
We don't have this key. But this wasn't open before. And it is now. So this is a new place.
Silence in court! Security Services, Department of Justice, Inc. Judge Chatsney presiding. Court is now in session.
Silence! I recognize that villain. An habitual criminal if ever I saw one.
That's Mr. Greaves, my lord. The counsel for the prosecution.
Silence when you speak to me. Now, who is the first contestant?
Defendant, my lord. The case of Union Security Services versus Howard Hobbins.
Howard Hobbins. Come on up.
It's the famous Hobbins.
Nice to see you, Howard. You're not nervous, are you?
Not really.
The defendant is accused of gross contempt and assault of a security officer.
Oh, intolerable. What have you got to say for yourself, eh?
I've been framed, Your Honor.
Okay, Gleaser.
May I elucidate?
Sorry you have to work Easter.
Go on then, but hurry up about
You go to bed, my friend. Sleep well. Have a good night.
Against Hobbins. After questioning
Thank
the
you
defendant, he
very
was
much.
the victim of an assault.
Monstrous
And thanks again for the donation. Maybe see you for a bit here for my dramatic tomorrow.
Me? Defense? Is he entitled to any?
I'm afraid so, my lord.
Upon my soul, whatever next? Who'd be silly enough to defend this wretch? Very well, let's get on with round one. Fingers on the buzzers, everyone.
I wish to call Officer Blunt.
Call Officer Blunt!
This is a highly weird court case.
I was assaulted. And is the culprit present in the court? That's him in the overalls. I rest my case, my lord.
Good. Where's my black cap?
We haven't heard the defense, my lord.
Is it really necessary? Oh, go on. Just don't take all day.
Now then, Officer Blunt. What was the nature of your injuries?
I got very wet.
But you didn't suffer any physical harm.
I could have caught a nasty cold.
Tell the court how you got wet.
While patrolling on Bellevue, I was saturated by a sudden shower.
Did you ascertain its source?
Oh, yeah. I heard laughter from the walkway above.
So, you saw the accused pour the liquid?
I couldn't see anything. My eyes were full of water. But I'd recognize his laugh anywhere.
This is a thin case.
Just how well do you know Hobbins?
I've never met him before.
And yet you say you recognized his laughter.
I don't know.
Who lodged the complaint against Hobbins?
Objection, my lord. Defense is contriving to lead the witness.
It was a simple question. I wish to establish the seriousness of the complaint made against my client.
I shall permit the witness to answer. However, I'm awarding Mr. Greaves 5 points for a well-timed interruption.
This judge is out of his mind.
The complaint?
It was Daniel Piermont.
What was Mrs. Piermont's grievance?
Cruelty to her pet dog. I interviewed Hobbins on 4 occasions, but he still hasn't confessed.
4 interrogations suggest harassment.
Objection, my lord. Officer Blunt is not the subject of this trial.
Quite correct. Objection sustained. 10 points to the prosecution.
No further questions, Your Honor. I'd like to question the defendant. Did you assault Officer Blunt?
Objection, my lord.
Why, man, what's wrong?
Repetition, my lord?
Objection overruled.
Are you guilty of assault, Howard?
Not me. I was fixing one of the cooling pipes, and it burst.
So Blunt's soaking was an accident?
Not exactly.
Why did the pipe burst?
Some joker had cut a power cable and overloaded the steam release in the power station.
So it's our fault, basically.
That's what damaged the cooling pipe.
Oh, I see. Did you laugh at Blunt's predicament?
Laugh? I'd nearly wet me pants.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Greaves, you may start the bonus round.
The facts speak for themselves, my lord. Hobbins is a cruel and callous man, with no respect for law and order. I recommend the maximum possible sentence.
Any comments from the defense?
I don't believe this is happening. This is total madness. You've all been warped in some way. And I think Link is the cause.
Silence!
Silence.
I've heard quite enough of this nonsense. So it's time for me to make my judgment. Howard Hobbins, you've won tonight's star prize. Life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment for laughing at the police officer.
However,
that seems
in view of your service to the city, I'm going to reduce your sentence. 2 hours community service.
a quick turnaround.
Court dismissed.
Shut tight.
What on earth was the point of this? Now we know for a fact that Hobbins was supposed to go and fix that those broken pipes in the room with the power buttons. So let's head back there and see if he's completed his community service and has now gone back and fixed the pipes and changed something in that part of the game. At least we are making progress. It's a little slow, but it's still progress. No, he certainly hasn't fixed anything.
Don't mind me.
And there's also the case of his locker. Maybe check this again as well. This part of the factory. Nothing has changed in here. He isn't here in any case. I guess we could go down here and check as well, but I doubt he's there. It's only really that one room. We'll come back to it if we can't figure anything out. You would think he's doing his community service at the moment? Make our way here. I want to check his locker, see if that's unlocked. Possibly something in there we could borrow without the intent of returning it. Which one was the Hoppins one?
Boltar, written in crayon. Belongs to someone called Cole.
It was Cole. Cole and Ottar, Lovecraft.
No name on this one.
This was unnamed.
Belongs to someone called Goddard.
And this was Goddard. Okay.
It's locked. It's locked.
None of these belong to this guy.
It's locked. It's locked.
Now, ours isn't locked, but there's nothing in it.
It's locked.
So this has nothing to do with it. Let's go back to the other side. Go back to the factory, see if he's gone there and perhaps fix some of the things we broke over in the factory. He's been the cause of the guy's entire problems so far in the game.
Hey, Lamb. See you later.
No further dialogue with the Lamb. Must be console gotten unstuck.
The program seems to have crashed. The program... It's locked.
Yeah, it's still locked up.
plastic overalls.
Let's see if he's in here. Close the reactor while we're at it. Okay, it automatically closed. Suppose we still can't shut it down. But we can definitely open the door again. And step in here.
The power in those...
Yeah, that's still the same. No new interactive things in here. Now, let's leave the door closed. We're probably supposed to do that, but the game doesn't actually seem to mind if we forget. Okay, let's go down to the other floors. See if something has changed there. We did forget to go into the computer, see if we could do something about this wire. Maybe some additional items were added to the computer. It's entirely possible. Let's try entering the interface as ourselves to start with. And then we can try as Anita as well. Seems familiar. Nothing has changed here at least. The Phoenix document. Okay, we already read that and figured all of that out. That's what things we were supposed to do. Back here. I think it was the red one in this one, which enabled us to go here and go here and pick up this green one, which we can then use over here. enables us to go back and pick up this red one. Walk this way. Over here. And over here as well. And I think we needed to use the red one in this circle. We could also, and I'm not sure, I tried it, go here and use it with this circle. What does that get us? Okay, that's not correct. Then we go here and enable this one, and then potentially we go back and pick up this green one. Is that it? Yeah, we can. That enables us to go here and through this exit. Which takes us to this room where the document was before. Nothing new has been added here. And there is no other exit. So all we can basically do is just find our way back. Let's go here and pick up the red one. Now go here. Pick up the green one. Or do we need the green one here to make our way back? No. Yes, we do. It needs to be here. We need to go here. And here, and down here again. Put the red one over here. Step back here. Take the green one. Go over here. Remove the red one. Put the green one here. Or what? Yes. Walk over here. And down here. If we use the red one here, it opens up this one. Can we take the green one away now? Yes, we can. And go here. Use the green one here to open up this door. Then we can remove the red one. And remove the green one there. And then exit back here. We have both pieces of the password again. There's nothing more here. Can't go here with the eyeball here because we don't have the blocker with this character. So all we can do here is just disconnect. So there's nothing new in this program as Rob. So let's try as Anita again. Now we have this additional information. Doesn't actually mean that there's anything new added about the virus at all. Blind this eye. Just for cakes. Now obviously we can't get anywhere here as Anita because we don't have the password. And potentially we don't need them either because there is nothing in that other room. Pretty sure we're supposed to get past that Crusader guy, but how? We have nothing to do so. Okay, there's really nothing more to do here. This did not help us in the slightest. let's go back to the ground floor. See if any other options opened up to us there. Certainly possible that the janitor has opened some of the doors. For example, the garage door on the ground floor, giving us access to something that we haven't had access to before. There are pieces of this puzzle that we haven't solved yet. Many pieces, actually. I'd also try visiting the club again. Hey there, Smartbringer. Welcome to the stream.
The door has an
Thanks for the
old-fashioned
video.
lock on it.
I've played your version of the video twice.
I need a key to open that.
It's not nice to be hit with DCMA, so better to be careful.
It's an old trick, but it still works.
That's interesting. I was just trying the latest item that we found with the door. It actually worked. He used the card to open the door. I play Commodore on Wednesdays, usually Amiga, and right now on Wednesdays we're playing Ultima 4. On Fridays I play DOS or Windows games on either the retro PC or the streaming PC. And on Saturdays I play Might and Magic on any platform really. Right now we're playing Might and Magic 3 on the Amiga on Saturdays. Occasionally on Mondays we play something on the classic Mac as well.
Central,
So I try to mix it up.
Museum, and St. James. They must be the names of the old subway stations.
Interesting. Sectors.
Central, High Green, Museum, and St. James. They must be the names.
The old subway stations.
The mechanism has rusted solid. It's a map of the subway, which means I'm getting close to Link. The map is painted on a big sheet of metal, not the sort of map you'd fold and put in your pocket.
Okay, so we can't just take this huge metal map off and stick it in our pocket, which is a shame. Thanks for the follow, Malbrigger. Yeah, I grew up with a Commodore. I had a Spectrum. It was my first machine. My dad at Christmas '83 brought home a Spectrum with a bunch of games. And then in '88 I got the Commodore 64, and 3 years later I got an Amiga 500. So I grew up on the Spectrum, the C64, and the Amiga. I still have my Amiga 4000, but I'm having it repaired. So I've been streaming from the Mister. No, I think it's too short. It needs to be an X amount of length, and if it's very short, it never gets flagged. So many people have these short alerts.
The stairway has been bricked up.
Yeah, Amiga 500 for
Why
Christmas
did I waste my
2020.
time doing
I do
that?
have an Amiga 500
Being
here
in
on the
this
floor.
city must be cracking me up.
What did he say?
Why did I waste my time being in?
We can't use anything with the brakes. This is a new room, nonetheless. Not one we've been in before. This game has actually surprised me quite a bit. It borders on being looted points, which I wasn't expecting. And some of the dialogue is pretty crazy.
Excuse me.
But it is in some ways, it's a very typical point-and-click game as well.
See you later. Don't wear out.
Okay, we got these clippers. Perhaps we can use them to cut a lock somewhere. There are some things that we want to access that are locked. Let's go back to the morgue here. Or whatever we call this weird room with the bodies just sitting in the closet. It's quite weird. Try the clippers with the cabinet. Doesn't work. Try them with the other items that we actually have in the inventory as well. Doesn't very much seem to work. We'll try some funny stuff with the body parts. I doubt that's what we're supposed to do either.
Her skin.
Yeah. Okay, nothing to do with clippers in here. Can we use them on these weird robotic dummies?
They're not.
No. Not human. We know this for a fact. Let's go upstairs. I'm mostly thinking of the room with the locker. See if we can use this tool on any of these. See if we find some worthwhile item there. Thanks for the donations, Smelberger. It says $5, but it's actually £5. I found no way of, with the integration with Streamlabs to change the currency of the text. It's very weird. But the total amount in the bar is at least in the correct currency, so that's what really matters. Every pound matters here. This is not the correct door. I keep confusing this door on this end with this door on this end, and pretty much in the exact location. It isn't obviously isn't the same door. And, yeah, they look very much alike. So keep confusing the two. One of them goes into the factory and the other one goes here. I want to try out this tool on these lockers, see if that's something that we can pilfer from these lockers we already had. A key card to open one of them. It just contains a bottle of shampoo, which he doesn't even want to take. Yeah, this machine is actually very interesting. It's an AI sort of world. I can show it to you. It's quite weird. So you use the interface card, and then you use an interface in your brain, which you had embedded by a doctor, to enter this AI sort of world, where you have these new options of fetching and decrypting files and so on. This is a way to get into the mind of the computer that is controlling basically the entire world in the game. So it's definitely a different element. It's also timing based and puzzle based. So it's not a typical element you would find in a point and click game. It's a little bit different. It adds a different element. Earlier in the game, we also had a robot which was able to do some tasks for us, but sadly, when we went to the ground floor, he crashed against the ground and is pretty much just a circuit board now. We still have the circuit board in the inventory, but we can't activate it without finding another robotic body for him, which we at least haven't found so far. Probably find it again before the game is over. That's our robotic pal Joey, which is on the circuit board. It was actually a great help earlier in the game. Oh, this game has more layers than would seem at first, at least. Oh, oddly, this game came out many years ago. I think it was 95 that it originally came out. The sequel came out last year. So it took them 25 years to make a sequel.
Don't wear out your thumbs.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. Maybe it has something to do with the retro game revolution.
See you later.
They're adding to these games. Nothing new here. Let's check the. It's been a while since we've been to the club. Let's check that as well. And, this is a very typical point-and-click kind of thing. You have to revisit all the places you've been before and talk again with everyone you've talked to before, and see if any of your new items do anything. Okay.
Do you know anything about a subway?
I've dreamed about them.
Really?
First of all, I'm swimming around like... Then I get sucked up this long tunnel. It's all wet and warm, you know?
I was talking about a real subway.
Yeah, this is what I mean by the game being occasionally lewd.
Never mind.
It's never actually lewd, but it hints a lot. This has changed. The pond is gone.
Fingerprints on the glass.
Hey, get your hands off my drink, Buster.
Still can't get to the glass.
Excuse me.
We need to get his fingerprints off the glass because his fingerprints opened the door to the wine cellar that's at the back of the bar.
Is there a subway around here?
Oh, there used to be. The club was named after the station.
Where is the subway station?
You're standing in it. See the area in front of the stage?
Oh,
The
that's
track
why we need to
ran
get
right
to the wine
through
cellar.
there.
Oh, that's why.
Excuse me. Never mind.
No new dialogue with the bartender who doesn't want to give us a drink. Says it's against the law.
Is there a subway around here?
What?
I'm looking for the subway.
What are you, a train spotter? Hear that,
Train spotting?
Gallagher? This guy's a train spotter.
There's no law against that.
Only because there aren't any trains.
Look, guys, I'm not a train spotter.
Who asked you?
These guys are absolutely nuts.
Is there a John in this place?
Why do you want to know that?
Well, I might need to use it. Surely the club's got to have one by law.
Have you seen the John Gallagher?
I don't need one. I don't drink like you do.
No, I've noticed that.
Oh,
These guys
nothing.
are quite useless.
Never mind.
Okay. Just leaves this jukebox, which we didn't have any option of doing anything with earlier.
The green select button is lit.
That's changed.
Hey, music lover. If you're looking for the best in sounds, I got 'em. The music of the spheres right here on Earth.
Music of the
Come
Swedes, he
on,
said.
get your fingers on my buttons. Let's make beautiful music together.
How offensive.
It's a
Why
loop
they put
jukebox.
voices in these machines is beyond me.
I'm all warmed up for you, baby.
Shut up and let me check the selections. Oh Lord, it's mostly
Yeah,
country
good
and
night,
western.
Smellbigger. It's only about 1 a.m. here. I'm
There are 3
I'm
tunes
2
by the
hours
resident
ahead of
band.
you now.
So, what's your choice, big boy?
Iceland is stuck on summertime all year round, so we're always on UTC. So when CET is on summertime, you're 2 hours away from me, but in winter, you're only an hour away. Not that late for me yet, but you sleep well. Thanks again for the donation, and thanks for the video. And might see you later or on again tomorrow with the third stream at 2200 UTC. That's midnight your time. What is it we can do with this jukebox?
Long Beach.
Yeah, later. Yeah, thanks for coming, Eldridge. You sleep well. Thanks for your channel point contribution. What is the point of this jukebox? What is it that we're supposed to
Pressing
do
the
here?
buttons doesn't achieve the select button. Pressing the buttons doesn't achieve anything. The select button.
Okay, so now it's just playing this song.
Excuse me. See you later.
Oh, don't...
Excuse me. Never mind.
There were some other options with the jukebox as well. I guess we had to wait for
The
it
select button isn't lit.
to finish playing our song. This is a cracking tune though.
Hi there. Oh, shit. I just wanted to, without being hassled. As cool as you.
Okay, this is this song. That's the second option. Doesn't seem to do much of anything. We've heard this one before.
Excuse me. Never mind.
Changes nothing.
Excuse me. See you later.
Oh, don't count on it.
The music in this game is actually quite good.
Never mind.
At least I'm enjoying it. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. We'll wait for this song to finish and then we'll try the third option with the jukebox. Okay. It's done.
That's odd. It stopped talking, thank goodness. It's almost as if this jukebox can understand me.
I can. I performed a body scan when you first made contact. I know your blood group, your color size, and your sexual preferences. This information has been transmitted to link files.
This is
Enjoy your selection.
Jukebox.
That's outrageous. I thought such blatant invasion of privacy only happened in major high street banks. Oh well, some music will
Shots
cheer me up.
taken.
You search but find nothing.
That's the third option.
Excuse me. Never mind. Excuse me.
Okay.
Oh, don't count
Oh,
on
oh,
it.
he's standing up. He's standing up. Let's get the glass. Ah, yes. Most excellent. He stood up because he hates the tune. See if he can use this glass with the metal plate that scans the fingerprint. No, we can't. How can we? Probably need some way of getting the fingerprints off the glass. How could we potentially do that?
Excuse me. Never mind.
Oop. Sorry.
Excuse me. Would you like this present? My advice is to keep quiet.
Door is probably still locked. That doorman didn't want the glass.
Door shut tight. Doors are unremarkable, but this one has a certain je ne sais pas.
Yeah, we've been here.
Close. See link for new.
Okay. Already been to the court. Saw one of these really weak events going on there. See if we can use the glass with something. I doubt it, but do so anyway since we're here. Makes no sense, but we'll try it anyway. No. Okay. How could we possibly get the fingerprints off the glass? Could gain access to this elevator again. She's still not there. So there's nothing in her apartment that
see you later.
we're supposed to use.
Don't wear.
No new options here either. I doubt it has anything to do with the cathedral or the bodies. We can't interact with any of that stuff except for the cabinet. Try this, you can try the apartment again. Some things to interact with there. Could get a fish into the glass. No. No. Just being thorough here, some of this makes absolutely no sense. Let's go to the supervisor's apartment as well. Can we use the glass to get some food here? No. Basically just turn this machine on. That's nothing. We can't interact with the bowl, so there's nothing we can really do there. Can't interact with the cat either. The only point to this VCR was to get the tape that was in there, which was basically just a tape of cats playing, which we used to upset the dog in the old lady's apartment. I guess we finished that part there. Okay. Okay, let's head out of here. We can pay a visit to the insurance guy as well as the travel agent. Try the glass with them. See if we have any further dialogue options. The guy isn't even here. There's nothing we could interact with. No. I think that's pretty much out of the question. This guy is still here though.
Here, have a present.
Push off!
I forgot to
Here, have a
Push off!
got to try the clippers with the things in the apartment. We'll try that later. Let's finish off this area. This tune is sort of catchy.
Excuse me. Can you match my fingerprints to those on this glass?
Oh, yes. My machine will do that automatically.
It's not against the law, is it?
No.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Don't security use them to check people's identities?
If they do, it's the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah.
The usual procedure for identification of suspects is a retina scan at the post-mortem. Now, about these prints you requested. Open the panel on my machine and insert the glass. Then place your hands in the otodermatome.
Will this hurt, Doc?
Oh yes, quite considerably.
Oh my. You're burning the fingerprints into our hands.
Excuse me.
It didn't even offer us the nitrous.
Thanks again.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, no further talking point here, but we have the fingerprints on our hands, and this option didn't even occur to me to go back to the doctor and have him grab the fingerprint to our hands. We looked into it anyway by just using the process of elimination. We'll go back down and we should be able to access that door now. So we'll head there. It's 1 AM already here. I will probably be ending the stream soon, but not before we move ahead a little bit here. I think we're pretty close to finding a new place in the game where we could save and move. Continue next stream.
There's a thumb-sized indentation in the plate.
Yeah, that worked a charm.
That's too big and heavy to carry. It's a big box made of wood.
And try the metal part.
It's a solid piece of wood.
What are we supposed to do? With a wooden lid?
It's a solid. If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere. I can't reach it. I certainly put my foot in it. The box isn't strong.
The box isn't strong.
It's a solid piece.
Okay, so we're supposed to take this board and put it here.
With the lid on top, it might bear my weight.
Stand on the box.
Too dark to see what's beyond the grill. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall.
Okay, we can try the...
I've punctured a hole in the grill. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall.
Still stuck. We have the clippers as well. Okay. There's a passage, so I guess that means we can basically exit. What's in this rock here?
It's a solid wooden storage rack for one. I'd never shift.
Okay, it doesn't want anything to do with the bottle. Okay, so basically...
If it's for ventilation, I can't...
Are we supposed to use it? Probably...
The subway. It's like a warren built by giant rabbits.
There's Bunny Rubble of the Flintstones.
The roof of the tunnel must have collapsed. I'm never gonna be...
Can't go this way. And we can't go this way. Now we can either go this way or that way. There's a hole.
There's something in there.
We died. Good thing I saved. I didn't actually save because I was afraid we would die. I saved because we made real progress. I've played too many LucasArts adventure games. I don't really expect to die. So that's not the hole we're supposed to go through. Stay away from that one.
There's something in there.
Okay. We can't make it past this point. We don't even have to look at the hole to die. So that's not the way for us right now. In any case, let's try the other way. Although we should be... I can get up at this point. Okay, this is just a bunch of rubble as well, so there's actually no way for us to get out of here.
The roof of the tunnel must...
Okay, what is it that we do here? Do we use the metal bar with the lovely little thing in there?
There's something in...
Okay, I'm done. This is a good point to leave the game. I'll return to this next stream. I wonder where it is that we're heading next. Let's see who's still on, whether any of my teammates are still at it. Find the schedule here. Mantle is on. How long has she been at it now? Four hours or so. Queno is also on. He probably just stopped it or not long ago. Yeah, he's been at it only 2 hours. We'll head over his way. He's also raising money for charity. For the same cause, belongs to the same team. So, set up the raid. Thanks for coming, people. It's been good. Thanks to everybody who donated. Thanks for the follow again, Spellbringer. And thanks for the raid, Will Torres. The donations, Gleaser. And your contributions to the Channel Point Redemption to for me to donate £5 to watch out as well. I'll skip to the extra and possibly see you here tomorrow night. We're playing Might and Magic 2200 UTC tomorrow. Until then, good night, people. Sleep well.